Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Banished, which is a game that I grabbed off Steam recently. No idea when we're going to be uploading this, or, why or when. I just felt the need to play it. It's a nice change of pace to the games I usually play, which is pretty much Total War, more Total War, and more Total War. It's sort of a city building game, in the sense that you're obviously building your own village, but it doesn't progress to being like a giant metropolis or anything like that. You aren't aiming to be a giant trade hub of economic superpower or anything like that. You build generally a medieval village, if you will, and it's more focused on the survival of your people, getting enough resources to keep your people alive. Things like fires, plague, hunger, and things can drop off your citizens, and you have to pretty much build a steady pace and not go too far. And I've only played about half an hour of it so far, but it's quite fucking, I don't know, it's weird, it's peaceful, is what I feel. Coming from like Total War and stuff, it's really peaceful. It's just sort of like really casual. Although it got to the point, if you actually look in the background right now, you can see a sort of little square with a little village in the background. That's how far I got. And at that point, I sort of began to run out of food, and a few of my people started to die from starvation. So we'll jump right into this, and generally I'm going in with like minimal experience, as in I know what most of the buttons do, but that's about it. It doesn't go away from the medieval side of things at all. It just, unlike, you say, SimCity or things like that, where you would progress through a certain level of technology and stuff and eventually have this huge, massive city, this isn't that at all. So we'll get right into this and see what the hell we can do. We are near a giant lake, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, now one weird thing about this game, it doesn't start with a UI popped up. So you have to toggle the UI on yourself, which I generally just decided to keep up here. And there is one for jobs, which we can slide up here for all of our citizens to do different things. So you can see all these tasks. There's quite a lot of stuff to do. The building is kind of limited at the moment, actually. You've got wooden houses, boarding homes, and you've got your basic travel, which is tunnels and bridges and stone walkways and stone roads and whatnot. Then you've got the storage to store different resources and trading posts. Basic resources, town services, city halls, stuff like that. And then resource gathering, which is pastures, crop fields and everything. Just generally stuff to get food. It's a picture of an apple. You'd think so, wouldn't you? Then you've got tailors, blacksmiths, woodcutters, all this kind of stuff. And then you've got the general resource harvesting, which is what we'll do in a second if we just let these guys grab their stuff that they want from there. And it shouldn't take them long. What we'll do is tell them to cut down all the trees in this area so that we can and they will go off and cut down all these trees. The first thing to do, if we speed this up to times 10, the little houses above their heads currently mean that they are homeless. So once we've got some trees set up, the first thing we'll do, once we've got enough lumber, I think we already start off with quite a bit. I believe we start off with a fuck ton of potatoes, so we don't need to worry about food just yet. But we'll let them cut down these trees, and then we can start building up our stuff. I have no idea how large the world is. I think it's pretty fucking huge, actually. If I had anything bad to say about this game, it would be the fact that you are alone. There are no other villages like in the distance off like that you can meet and trade up with. There is no combat aspect to it, which might bore some of you, I suppose. Generally, that's what I'm playing it just to relax and play a game that doesn't involve me rushing around the place or do anything. It's just for me to chill out and a little bit of a break from Total War. But if there's any aspect of it that I'd have to complain about, it's that there's no, you can't build a military or build walls around your castle. Like you would be able to eventually, when your village got to a certain size. Obviously you'd need a military power to defend yourself against other villages that have been built nearby. I mean, I think that could be a pretty awesome aspect that could have been added to the game. But who knows? Maybe that will be added in the future. I believe the developer for this is just one guy. So taking into account, the game is pretty good piece of work that he's managed to get done for just being one guy working on this. But what we'll do first is build a wooden house of sorts. So you press F to change the type of house as well, if we wish. Me being the piggy bastard that I am. Put similar houses so that they're all generally... And right now, if you can see, we got 0 out of 6 builders necessary to build all of those stuff. So if we remove some of our labourers and put them to assigned building tasks, those guys will go off building while the remainder of my labour force continues to cut down those trees that I ordered them to do earlier. Now, at least at the beginning of the game, I think putting it on times 10 is actually a pretty decent idea, because it does move considerably slow at the beginning of things. Now, what these people will do, it isn't one house for everything, it's one house for every family, and the families will actually have kids, and those kids will take on the jobs of their parents, and I think you can build schools to educate them a bit more so that they're more proficient at their jobs. But as you can notice, the yellow house symbol above some of these guys will diminish now that I've built them some adequate homing houses and whatnot. Oh, so next thing is going to the travel section and building a basic dirt road to keep these guys happy. They do actually need to build the road as well. If we zoom in, you can see them with pickaxes building the road. That allows for some faster travel, which is pretty fucking useful later on. What we're going to do, though, because we're going to need some more stuff, which is fine for now. If we build this... and then get these guys to remove the stone. No? Collect stone. Collect the stone. You need to move some of this stuff out of the way. Some of this is not stone, it's actually iron, which we can collect as well. Get them to collect just the remainder of all this, and then they'll put these in these new stockpiles that I have created. I think we might need to build some more houses. If I can click on him, is he homeless still? Yeah, storage for logs and stuff is nearing capacity, I know. We will... little icon here, it says on your storage and stuff that you can keep track of on this list here, and generally shows your health of citizens and the happiness of them with the stars as well. But what we can do is go here, no, not here, there, and there you go, build that, and build more dirt roads linking all these things up. That links up all of my storage as well as everything else. Because we're on a secluded little bit of like peninsula down here, we're probably going to have to spread out over into the forests and cut up some stuff later, but we'll actually probably spread south, or... This lake's pretty decent, because that will give us a lot of fish, hopefully. The first things first is, though, we will, because we have... amount of stored logs is fine for now. But some of my guys are still... Eep. Apparently that is the button that swings the map around. I did not know it did that. Being the picky bastard that I am, I'm putting all the chimneys on the same side, if you noticed. It's fucking ODST right there. I must have the chimneys all precisely fucking facing the same way. So this is why I play games like this. It satisfies my ingenious desire to do nothing. What's this? The reserve of food is low. In that case, a very good thing to have is a gatherer's hut. Although in this case there is not much shit to gather. So I think what we might invest in is a fisherman. Which is probably best to have right there. So it gets all of that area covered. So if we go... Oop, what else is... Reserve of firewood is low. Firewood is very useful later on. What time are we on right now? Times 5. Okay, let's go back to times 1. At least while I'm talking and not doing anything, we go to that times 1. See, some of my people, the little yellow indicator with the food and everything is hunger, and the snowflake is the fact that they're cold, which can be dealt with quite easily if we go over here. But first things first is I want them to remove these trees quickly as possible, preferably. We can get rid of these builders because they are completely worthless while there's nothing to build. The labouring force can do a much better job of that. So if we go to time, quickly get these bastards to cut down these trees, preferably before one of my guys dies from hunger. And once those trees are cut down, we can build a fisherman on that little bit of isle, hopefully. And from our fishing connection, we should be able to build some serious stuff, as it were. Yeah, I do believe that's the only place we're going to get that, I'm afraid. Okay, builders, we need 2 to do that. The gatherer is also a really good thing to have, but unfortunately at the moment we don't really have too much of a place to build. I mean, you can see the general radius of what the gatherer picks up, and at the moment he's not really going to be gathering much because there's not a whole lot of stuff, which is unfortunate to say the least. There is a hunting lodge over here. Actually, is one of my first acts. I think I'm going to... Yeah, those guys are all taking the lumber and necessary shit to go do that. What we could do is build ourselves an orchard. I only think we need really a small one for now. Just that size. But if we start to build these now, just peach is fine for now, I suppose. But if we get these guys to start harvesting and farming, once again, the more people you assign to certain jobs, the more labourers you lose, and the more people that have families and kids, the further it gets and everything, you know the deal. But if we start to farm some food now, hopefully, that will mean that we can get food when we desperately need it later on for winter and everything. Because winter's sort of the harsh shit. Winter is coming to Winterfell, I'm afraid. And shit is going down. Okay, just can't see if we can build... So this is quite good. It allows you to actually build all the way around the corners. Which is very helpful. The first things next... I say the first things first a lot, but what we need to do is use some of this wood that we've got and build myself a woodcutter's lodge to get myself plenty of stuff up and running. Hard to build next to that, really, but I think that'll have to do. We'll just build that there. I personally rather have it next to my... what's the rotate button? Yeah, R's the rotate button. Now, if we build it there next to the storage hut, I'd rather have it next to the storage because they're going to be bringing it back and forth, and that provides plenty of... what does it provide? I forget. It provides firewood, which will fix our heating problem, in theory. We also need fishermen, and nobody is a fisherman at the moment. There you go, we'll have fishermen, and that should deal with our problems, as it were. If we do travel... We can't build dirt roads over hills. I wonder if stone roads can be built over this. No? No. I don't want roads there. What are you doing? Why would I want a stone road there amongst dirt roads? Okay, they'll just have to walk across for now, I suppose. But if we go to times 10 for a second and let them build all of this. Yeah, they're building stone roads here for some fucking reason. I don't want them building stone roads. It is a waste of my time. But evidently they're going to build stone roads because we can, apparently. The amount of stored firewood and the amount of stored food. Food is going to become a serious fucking problem right now. We need a woodcutter, which is where? Builders are necessary at the moment. Woodcutter is necessary. And in order to get wood for the woodcutter, we need to send some labourers to cut the shit out of some wood. Which might take a while, because I've picked a position that is incredibly just out in the middle of nowhere. So not the best position for a fucking starve a town, really. When it's going to take me so long to do stuff. Although we do have plenty, so firewood shouldn't be a problem. You see all the wood gathering around, that is wood. But all of my labourers are busy working on cutting down trees. I'm just wondering for a second, because it allows it to cross rivers, and this allows you to travel through mountains. So how do you go across hills? Or can't you place dirt paths across hill paths? You'd think you would be able to place paths over just hills. And apparently you can't. Which kind of cuts them off. I mean, my guys will have to travel across just to get over there. Yeah, see, son of a bitch. One of my guys has died from starvation. Which is horribly so. It is actually a good thing, because if they die, that's one less mouth to feed. It's sort of evil, but, you know, he died. One less mouth for me to feed. But once we've dealt with all this wood and brought it back to this place, they'll cut it up and take it back into the thing, in which case we'll get firewood. And the firewood will make us a lot warmer and healthier. You can see all in the top up here, 2 people have died of starvation. So we really need to deal with this food problem, because it is going to continue to become a pain in my ass. I think there's plenty of deer around here, so building... Yeah, you don't want to expand too fast, because you only have 5 labourers. So if I build too much shit, that means I'm going to have less and less labourers to continue building stuff, as it were. So we might have to sacrifice a few guys and, you know, let them die. Now, if you see over here, all of these little berries and shit, these are the gathering materials that we need. So if we can clear all this stone and wood and shit. The reserve of firewood is low. I just put a fuck ton of firewood over there. So once they stop pissing about with everything else, once they finish cutting down all these trees, thankfully winter is slowly passing. You can see in the top right hand corner it says late winter, which means the winter's going to pass pretty soon. The reserve of firewood is still quite low, and we still have a huge shortage of food. So the first thing that we need to do is get these guys to remove this. To remove stone in this area. And remove iron in this area. And then once those are removed, we'll place a gatherer, and then he'll have to send it back to the place. Really, like I said, not the best of places to have it, but thankfully it's summer now, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. The good thing is, we do have a lot of game. And by game, I mean hunting and deer and venison and whatnot to hunt. There's plenty of it all over here, plenty of them all over here, which means they'll generally, they'll flock around this area, if you will. We just need to chop up all this stuff, which is going to take a while because my guys have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We are getting a slow supply of food, but it's nowhere near enough. We will die at this rate if we do not increase production. Like, really fast. If we... Because we have plenty of firewood for a second, let's get rid of our woodcutter for a moment. He can go back to work later, but for now I can use him getting rid of all this stone. We need to clear way, and then I can put a gatherer. I'm pretty sure I could place buildings over this without too many problems, but You see, you get so many workers, and labourers are the guys that go back and forth from these locations in order to bring the food to the storehouse in order for the people to get to eat. So if you don't have enough labourers to balance how much productivity you're doing, then you're not going to have enough people bringing food back to the village in order to actually, you know, do stuff. But you see how long it's taken them to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with all of this supplies and shit that they're getting from the stone. My troops, my people are dying. I'm used to saying my troops are dying, but my villagers, my glorious villagers. They build this gatherer. I don't know. I was gonna say get some people to gather stuff, but I don't have many fucking citizens left to gather anything. Although they are incredibly happy still for some reason. We also need a woodcutter, or we're not going to make it through the winter. Harsh times ahead for Winterfell, I'm afraid. The wall wasn't built in a day, people. Harvest the peaches. It's going to be like that scene in Reign of Fire with the dragons, where the guys go down, they get the fucking burnt fucking fruit. Somebody should just start chasing these deer around with knives. I refuse to give up. We will pull through this somehow. I don't know. That's what I was mentioning earlier. If you go into this like I have, and I can't keep up with the food, and now that we're losing so many people, I just don't have enough people left alive to actually pull myself through it, because I don't have enough people. I can't take them off Gatherer, because Gatherer is what I'm making money. I'm making food off of at the moment. I think this one's stuck in a ditch, really. I don't think we're getting out of this alive. Most of our kids have died. Farmers dying left and right. Okay, guys, this is what not to do in Banished. What not to do. Fuck it. Okay. What we'll do, we'll go back. We'll start a new one, preferably one better that lasts a little bit longer. And one thing I've also mentioned, that you go caps lock. You cannot type in capitals. Can you do like Shift W? Yes, I can. Winterfell. I have no way to know what the hell seed these are. They're just random. It would be nice to like see the map. There you go. We'll go with that, just because it's the larger number. Disasters on, same as always. Okay. Hopefully we'll get a better map this time around. See, that is what it can look like. Mine was not as bad as that. Mine was not burnt down ruins, okay? I'm going to call fucking achievement on the fact that my village did not burn down, and there was at least some of them alive. Barely enough to bury the corpses of the others, but nevertheless, at least some of them lived. They probably had to resort to cannibalism at the end of it, but they were alive. But no, there you go. That's how quickly this game can go to hell. The cause of that? Food. Which is pretty much the main cause for everything. Now, this one actually, I don't know. This one might not actually be too bad. Especially if I eventually spread up there. There's no point building a fishery or anything, but we can, of course, spread over here. We're a lot closer to the forests and gathering resources this time around as well, so there's not too much of a big deal about that. But what we'll do first things first, like we did last time, is cut down trees.